Gogi is my family name. Rodney is what I'm known as now. I'll echo my brother and say thanks to you. As I've grown older, I've realised what a wonderful, inquisitive, beautiful mother we had. As most people would know, my mother had a passion for architecture, for history, for geography, which she filled us with when we were children. In England, in the long winters, not the iPads and TV now, there was nothing on TV. We had bookshelves everywhere in our house, and we would spend the days and the evenings poring over atlases of history and so on. By the age of 10, I think we all knew all the great cities of the world and the rivers. And, sorry. At that time, I'll skip a few early memories. At that time, she taught science in the secondary school. She never had any science training. She studied economics. And then we came to Australia in 1966. And she taught politics at UNE. Again, she never had any politics training, but it seemed that standards were different then. But her real passion, and the thing that I think people here in the History Society felt was history, geography, the world around. Even late in life, when I used to drive her around in Bradford, she always seemed to explain any building we would see. Allowing forms, she'd try and explain the geography and the history and the way they interrelate. And because of that, and because of the need and love to explain things, the History Society was a very important part of the life. For many people, small talk is discussing what was on TV last night, or what the weather was like, or something like that. For my mother, who was, you know, what happened in 1821 between two people, or some entry in the logbook of the Endeavour, or something like that. She had this wonderful curiosity about the world. As a lot of you know, obviously, and as my brothers have mentioned, when she moved to Randwick, she became particularly interested in the history of the world, of the area. She came, there was one cottage quite near where she lived, Lucas Cottage, and where a normal sort of person like my brothers and I might see the cottage and think it was interesting, she had to discover everything about it. Went back to England, she traced the history of Hoover, traced it back to the Battle of Waterloo. She was questioning why he built the cottage there. She went to Queensland where he died and found his grave in Western Queensland. She had that curiosity. I also appreciate that here we are in Maroubra, we're close to Botany Bay, where Captain Cook landed. Captain Cook, I often think Captain Cook would have made the ideal husband for partly because he was away for months at a time, but also because of the curiosity, the sense of geography, finding out about the world. As my eldest brother mentioned, Wilfred, my mother's mother grew up in Victorian times, and yet she was able to study pharmacy. That was very, very unusual for a girl to do in those days, and she had a real sense of, if you like, getting out of the norm and rebelling. Even though she was quite a conservative person in some ways, she seemed an imposing figure to us as kids, but then I suppose a grandmother for all small children seems imposing. But Eileen grew up in Bournemouth, which was a very respectable, her father was a coal merchant, a small businessman, which is a very respectable city in the south of England, in a respectable sort of family and so on. But, and her mother, a lot of people perhaps don't know this, her mother was involved in a movement called moral rearmament. And moral rearmament was a sort of a semi-religious type of thing. To give you an idea of what it was like, they were great admirers of Hitler and the order of Nazi Germany. In fact, my mother got sent as an exchange student to Nazi Germany in the 1930s, soon after Hitler came to power. She could sense the injustice. She could, in spite of the parents' sort of upbringing, she could sense the terrible things that were happening there, and it caused her to rebel most strongly against moral rearmament and all that moral rearmament stood for. In fact, she went the other way, and she became a card-carrying communist, and quite, as did many, many people in the 1930s, and became strong on the other side. Over the years, she softened that a little bit, but she was always very politically committed. After World War II, during World War II, she lived in a small village in England, a place called Letchworth, near Cambridge, where my brother now works, which I looked up on the internet last night. Now it's called the First Garden City, which is quite appropriate. But when she was there, it was basically, I think, a rubber factory in the village. And she spent the war making rubber for tanks and so on. After the war, she married my father, who came from the other side of the British class divide. My mother came from, if you like, the middle class, and Britain then, as it still is, although not as much as now, was a very stratified sort of society. But my mother stepped outside her class and married my father, who was very much sort of Welsh working class, from a very poor background. And they had a hard life for a few years. Ilfrin and Hugh were both born, Hugh not so much, and Ilfrin soon after the Second World War, when she was studying and basically living in quite a lot of poverty. Anyway, we came to Australia in 1966. She loved Australia. She loved the outdoor life. She loved gardening. The sense of space. All the wonderful things this country has to when she retired from Armidale from the uni, which I think also ran when you were 60 or 65, I think she was, she was fortunate to get a job in archives in Canada, which suited up and down to the ground. I sort of have an image of her sitting in an office somewhere looking at the old cabinet papers, and perfect for a woman with such an interest in history. And she actually stayed on there past the retirement age and was able to, she was contracted out to them and was able to do work in the archives for many years. Then she moved to Sydney, and she came to Randwick here. Being Eileen, she developed a passion for the local history of the local area, and obviously that's where a lot of you got to know her. And again, I'd like to thank the Society for putting this on. So, thank you for coming this evening. I hope we can arrange something more permanent to remember her.